In a world where technology has become our lifeline, what happens when it fails? Suddenly, your trusted smartphone, your fail-safe GPS, your handy survival gadgets, they all become useless. And when the chips are down, it's not these modern tools that will save you, it's the old-school survival skills that our ancestors honed over generations. These are the skills that could make the difference between life and death when the world as we know it changes. In the face of adversity, it's the practical, time-tested techniques that really count. Skills like making fire without a lighter or matches, purifying water without a filter, navigating without a GPS, cooking off-grid, and even providing first aid with natural remedies. So let's dive into these gritty, real-world methods. The ones that don't rely on batteries or Wi-Fi signals, but on knowledge, resourcefulness, and sheer human will. Because when it comes to survival, it's these old-school skills that could mean the difference between life and death. Ever thought about how our ancestors kept warm, cooked food, and protected themselves without a spark wheel? It's a question that can ignite quite a curiosity, especially when you realize that these primitive skills could be your lifeline when modern tools are out of reach. Starting a fire without a lighter or matches isn't just a party trick, it's a survival skill that can mean the difference between life and death. It's about returning to the basics, to the times when humans harnessed the elements to their advantage. Let's dive into the first method. Steel. When struck together, these elements create sparks, tiny pieces of burning metal which can ignite a tinder nest. It's a simple, yet effective technique, harking back to an era of survival. Next, we have the fire bow, a tool that uses friction to generate heat. It's a method as old as time itself, and while it may require a bit more effort and finesse, the result, a glowing ember, makes it all. The fire bow is a testament to human ingenuity, a tool that transforms survival into a science. Lastly, we have char cloth. This lightweight blackened fabric is a fire starter's best friend. It else turning a tiny flicker into a roaring blaze in minutes. Making char cloth is an ancient skill, a nod to the resourcefulness of our ancestors. These methods, while seemingly archaic, time for a reason. They're reliable, effective, and require only basic materials. In the face of adversity, these skills can turn the tide, providing warmth, protection, and the means to cook food. With these skills, you can literally and figuratively, even when modern conveniences fail. It's about becoming a master of the elements, a steward of survival, capable of turning the simplest of tools into a lifeline. It's not the latest gadgets that will save you, it's the old-school skills, the proven techniques that have kept humanity alive for centuries. Water is life, but what if your Berkey filter is no longer an option? This might sound like a daunting question, but fear not. Our ancestors quenched their thirst long before the advent of modern filtration systems, and so can you. Picture this, a pristine stream running through the wilderness. It's tempting to drink directly from it, but remember, appearances can be deceiving. Even the cleanest-looking water can harbor harmful bacteria and parasites. In such situations, boiling is your best friend. Bringing water to a rolling boil for at least 1 minute kills most types of pathogens. If you're at a higher altitude, say above 5,000 feet, extend that boil time to 3 minutes just to be safe. But what if you stumble upon a murky pond instead of a clear stream? Boiling alone won't rid the water of suspended particles and some toxins. This is where a basic filter system comes in handy. Imagine a bottle with its bottom cut off. Fill it up with layers of natural materials, starting with a cloth or bandana at the bottom, followed by charcoal from your fire, sand, and finally small pebbles at the top. Pour the murky water through this makeshift filter, and voila! The contaminants get trapped in the different layers, and you're left with clearer water that's ready for boiling. Finally, recognizing safe sources of drinking water is a skill in itself. Rainwater, collected properly, is typically safe to drink. Snow and ice, melted and then boiled, can also serve as safe sources. But avoid stagnant water, as it's a breeding ground for pathogens. In essence, water purification doesn't have to rely on modern technology. With a bit of knowledge and a dash of resourcefulness, you can secure a clean drink in the wild, just like our forefathers did. Remember, hydration is key to survival, and knowing these techniques could save your life. If GPS dies, could you find your way home? This question is not merely rhetorical. It's a stark reality that many of us could face in a survival situation. The lost art of navigation is one that we should all be familiar with. How so? Well, Let's start with the sun. It's the world's most reliable compass. Rising in the east and setting in the west, the sun provides a consistent point of reference. During the day, you can use a simple sundial method to track its movement and determine your cardinal directions. But what about at night? Stars, my friends, can be your guiding lights. The North Star, for instance, has guided explorers and sailors for centuries. Its steadfast position in the night sky makes it a reliable navigational tool, and it's not as hard to locate as you might think. Simply find the Big Dipper constellation and follow the line created by its two outermost stars. It points directly to the North Star. But what if it's a cloudy day or night? What if you can't see the sun or stars? Fear not, nature has other signposts. Moss, for example, tends to grow on the north side of trees in the northern hemisphere, providing a subtle hint of direction. Animal trails can also be a valuable guide. They often follow natural lines of the landscape, leading to water or clearings. Speaking of landscape, it's time to talk about patterns. Rivers flow from higher to lower ground, and mountain ranges often run in the same direction. Recognizing these patterns can help you determine where you are and where you need to go. The art of navigation is about more than just knowing where north is. It's about understanding the natural world around you, interpreting its signs, and using them to guide your way. It's about being in tune with the rhythms of the earth, just as our ancestors were. Remember, in a survival situation, your smartphone won't be there to tell you where to go. It'll be you, your wits, and the world around you. So take the time to learn these techniques. Practice them. Make them second nature. Because navigation is more than just a skill, it's a lifeline when you're lost. When the grid goes down, the kitchen doesn't close. It's time to embrace the pioneer spirit and get back to basics with off-grid cooking. You see, our ancestors didn't have fancy kitchen appliances or prepackaged meals. Instead, they harnessed the power of open flames and simple tools, and you can too. Imagine cooking over a crackling fire using trusty cast iron pans, sturdy Dutch ovens, or even makeshift reflectors. These tools are as rugged as the frontier folk who use them, able to withstand high heat and rough handling. And the meals? They were simple, hearty, and nourishing, made from minimal ingredients that could be easily foraged or preserved. From savory stews to freshly caught fish, these dishes fueled survival and resilience. But what about when things go wrong, when cuts happen or sickness strikes? Well, that's where natural first aid comes in. Before the advent of modern medicine, people used what nature provided to treat their ailments. Take comfrey, for instance, a versatile plant that was often used in poultices to help heal wounds, or yarrow, a flowering herb that can help stop bleeding. And let's not forget about willow bark, nature's own painkiller, which has been used for centuries to alleviate aches and fever. These old-school remedies are not just remnants of the past, they're valuable skills for the present. They remind us that nature is not just a place to survive, it's also a place to thrive, offering resources for both our physical nourishment and our well-being. So whether you're cooking a hearty meal over an open fire or treating a cut with a plant-based salve, remember this: our ancestors were survivors, and so are we. With these skills, you can stay healthy and well-fed, even in the toughest conditions. When gear breaks and there's no replacement, what do? This is a question that our ancestors faced and addressed daily. The answer lies in self-reliance, in the ability to fix and maintain your resources using simple materials and a hefty dose of ingenuity. Imagine a situation where your clothing tears or a button falls off. In the modern world, it's a minor inconvenience. In a survival scenario, it could mean the difference between staying warm or succumbing to hypothermia. The lost art of hand sewing is a skill worth relearning. With just a needle and thread, you can repair clothing, stitch together a makeshift shelter, or even suture a wound in an emergency. What about when your leather boots spring a leak or your bag's strap snaps? Knowing how to mend leather goods becomes crucial. Our forebears used simple tools like awls and punches to stitch and rivet leather, extending the life of their gear. Keeping your tools sharp and in good condition is another essential skill. Whether you're using a knife for hunting and cooking, an axe for chopping firewood, or a hoe for cultivating a survival garden, the effectiveness of these tools hinges on their sharpness. A dull tool is a dangerous tool, but self-reliant repairs aren't just about physical objects. They also apply to your shelter. Understanding how to maintain and repair your shelter using simple materials can protect you from the elements and potential threats. Beyond these practical skills lies an even more vital aspect of survival: mental toughness. In the face of adversity, it's your mindset and ability to adapt that will see you through. Our ancestors knew this well. They endured long winters, famines, and isolation not just by relying on their survival skills, but also by keeping a calm, focused, and resourceful mindset. Training your mind to handle stress, to make decisive actions when it matters most, and to stay positive in the face of adversity is the cornerstone of survival. It's about cultivating grit, resilience, and a never-give-up attitude. Remember, in a survival situation, your mindset and ability to adapt are your biggest assets. When modern systems fail, it's the low-tech, high-impact skills that keep you alive. We've journeyed through fire starting without matches or lighters, purifying water sans filters, and navigating without GPS. We've explored cooking off-grid the pioneer way, and delved into natural first aid and medicinal plants. We've even tackled self-reliant repairs and the timeless art of mental toughness. These aren't just quaint historical footnotes, but practical, life-saving techniques that our ancestors relied on and that we might need in a bind. They underline a profound truth: survival isn't about the latest gadgets, but about knowledge, resourcefulness, and grit. So, whether you're a seasoned prepper or just starting, remember that old-school survival skills aren't outdated, they're essential. Stay sharp, stay grounded, and remember, the old ways still work. If this video gave you something to think about, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe.